want to do is turn your paper horizontally. So you're going to want to take it and go this direction with it. I guess that doesn't help you guys who are watching the video, but not like a normal piece of paper. You're going to turn it horizontally like landscape. The second thing I want you guys to do is with your pencil or whatever you're going to use, I need you to darken in an x-axis, which needs to go across the bottom. So I'm just going to take my pen and darken in the entire x-axis across the bottom. Okay, I also want you to do that with the y-axis. So we're going to do the y-axis going up the far left side. So as straight as you can, just darken in your y-axis. Yep, mine's not very straight. That's okay. Okay, we are using the big race scenario cards. Let me really quickly explain what the big race is. The big race is 6 kids are in a tricycle race. So we're going to see who wins, who comes in first, second, third, all of that. And all the information we have is on these scenario cards. So the first thing I'm looking at is that Addie, blah, 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 it says something about her rate, but then this is the important part. The race is only 25 meters long. So knowing that the race is 25 meters long, I want you guys to go to your y-axis, that's this one, and I want you to label it meters. Leave a little space so you can put your numbers in there. Label it meters, and we only need to number up to 25 because the race is only 25 meters long. Okay, this is going to be super important. When you start numbering, do not number the spaces. Number the line. So the first line is a 1, and then 2. Again, you're numbering the lines, not the spaces. And I want you to go all the way up and then stop at 25 because that's the end of the race. 7. You guys who are watching this video can push pause or fast forward since I'm probably going a lot slower than you are. I will also say that I should not be talking while I'm doing this because it is very easy to skip a number. So you might double check that you guys did not skip a number. Some kids in my second hour earlier today said that they got different numbers I did, and it turned out it was because they missed a number or they wrote a number twice. So be sure you have 1 through 25 and you're labeling the lines, not the spaces in between. Okay, going across the bottom, you have that this big race is a meters race and they're counting by seconds. So we're going to make across the x-axis across the bottom seconds. And some of them might take a lot of seconds, so we're going to number all the way across. But once again, only number the lines, not the spaces. So your number 1 should be coming off of the number 1 line, not the space. And then I'm going to have to write super, super, super tiny because when we get to double digits, it's really hard to squeeze them all on there. So go ahead and take a minute to number yours. Be sure you don't skip any. I'm going to stop talking so I don't skip any. Some people earlier turned their paper sideways if you need to be able to get all of the numbers on there, but just be sure you're not skipping numbers. I forgot how far we go. I mean, it's all the way, but I don't remember what number it gets to. It's more than 40 because I'm already at 40 and I've still got room. Okay, is it 49? I got to 49. The very last line is 49, and I do think that is what I got second hour too, yes. It's weird that it didn't go to 50, but whatever. Okay, so if you guys labeled the lines correctly, you should end after the 49th line. Okay, I want to go back to what I just read about this. It says the race is just 25 meters long. So I'm actually going to go back up to my 25, and I'm going to darken in this line because that's the finish line. This is the end of the race. So as soon as I have lines that cross here, that's where they end. this is going to be silly, but I'm waiting for all of you guys to darken in your line. So I'm going to do a checkered flag. Isn't the checkered flag, I think, is the end of the race. Okay, so that's the end of your race. I did a silly little checkered flag. You do not need to do that. Okay, if you are using different colors, choose the color that you would like to make your line for Addie. If you're not choosing different colors, it's totally fine. You can do them all in pencil. I'm just going to have you guys write the person's name on the line, which I will also do. Okay, so Addie, let's look at her rate and where she starts and all of that. Addie says she rides her tricycle 3 meters every 2 seconds, but we need to know where to start. She starts at the starting line. So if she starts at the starting line, where do you think her first dot is going to go? 0, 0, exactly. So you're going to put your first dot for Addie right there at the origin. I'm going to make Addie pink. All right, it says right on this scorecard that her rate is 3 meters every 2 seconds. So I'm going to go up 3 meters, because meters is on the side, per every over 2 seconds. So I'm going to put my next dot at up 3 over 2, because it's 3 meters in 2 seconds. And that's her rate. She's going to continue to go at that speed the whole race. So I'm going to continue to go up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, the whole way to the finish line. And it looks like she doesn't quite get to the finish line on my last dot. So I'm going to go ahead, just because I need her to pass the finish line, I'm going to go up 3 over 2 again. And so that when I use my ruler to draw on my line, I can see exactly where she crosses the finish line. Anybody know another word for her rate that I just went up 3 over 2? What's a math word that we've used a lot lately? Slope, average, slope, speed, all of those are correct. Good. Okay, so I am going to draw as straight of a line as I can, because I need to see where Addie crosses that finish line. If you guys are not using a different color, or even if you are, be sure to put Addie on your line somewhere, label her name, because we're going to do some follow-up questions on the back, and it is going to we're going to need to know whose line is what. Okay, so this way we can see exactly at what second she crossed the finish line. Actually, just to see if you guys did it right, see where she crosses the finish line? If you go straight down, at how many seconds did it take her? What time did she cross the finish line? Did you get it at a little before 17? You got it after 8? Yes, 17? You got it passing through right here? It should, if you have a straight line, it should be just before 17. Like 17's right here. It should be just before that. Okay. Exactly at 17? Okay. I think it's close. Okay. All right. Let's pick a color, or let's go ahead and read Bailey's, and let's see what hers is now. Oh, I can go back to that here. So all I did was label her line. Just a sec. All right. Bailey gets a 6 meter head start, but what's the problem with Bailey's? Then it says she rides twice as fast as someone who we haven't done yet. So let's actually skip Bailey for now. Let's go on and see if we could do Charles. Charles rides half as fast as Fran. Well, that's a problem because we haven't done Fran's line. Let's go to David's. Oh, his depends on Elizabeth's. We haven't done hers either. So how about this one? Here we go. Elizabeth, poor Elizabeth, she only rides 1 meter for every 4 seconds because she has a flat tire. So she's going a little slower than everyone else, and that's okay. But here's what we're going to do to compensate. She gets a 10 meter head start. So let's go ahead and find a 10 meter head start. Where would Elizabeth start? Meters, 10. So I'm going to start Elizabeth's dot at up the meters at 10. So she's going to start at 10 meters, and she has a flat tire, but let's remind us what the rate is. 1 meter per every 4 seconds. So she starts at 10. She's only going to get up to meter number 11 after 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. So you're going to go up 1 over 4. And she's going to continue to go 1 meter, 4 seconds, 1 meter, 4 seconds, 1 meter, 4 seconds, all the way till she finally crosses the finish line, which actually, I'm not sure I gave you a graph that was big enough to see where she crosses the finish line. So let's keep going. It doesn't mean that she stops because our graph ran out of room. It just means that I didn't give you a graph long enough to see where so she's going to keep going. So Elizabeth is going to keep going, and we're going to just pretend that I gave you a graph long enough that she eventually crosses. All right, take your ruler. You're going to need the whole ruler this time. And draw in your line from 10 meters as far as you can get Elizabeth's line to as close to the finish line as she can. So mine was like that. And let's go ahead, don't forget to label it. This is Elizabeth. I'm going to put an arrow on the end of my line actually, because that's going to show that she's still going. She's still working on getting to the finish line. I just ran out of room to show where she crossed it. Okay. I'm going to keep going. If I'm going too fast, you can totally push pause or come back to this. That was Elizabeth. So we've got Elizabeth's and Addie's. So now that we have Elizabeth's, who should we do next? Should we go up to David's because his depends on Elizabeth? Let's go to David next. I'm going to make David's blue. David starts at the starting line, totally not cheating, and boom, he catches up to Elizabeth in just 4 seconds. So let's go to the starting line. That means he starts at the origin. He catches up to Elizabeth, which is my orange line, in only 4 seconds. So we're going to go over to 4 seconds and then up to Elizabeth's line. Wherever hers touches right there at 4 seconds is where David is after the starting line. So his first dot was starting line. His second dot is right there. So his line is super steep. He is going really fast. And let's think about what his rate would be, because I need to put some more dots on there. How many did we go up and over from the starting line to get to David's? Yeah. Does anybody, you go, oh, sorry, I know we're on a video, but anyone in here want to answer? Lila, what is it? 11 over 4. So we went up 11 over 4. So we're going to go up another 11 over another 4 to get our next dot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So your next dot should be up 11 more over 4 more from this dot. And that's not going to exactly cross, so I'm going to go ahead and go up 11 over 4 more. I know it's going to be past the finish line, but that's okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 over 1, 2, 3, 4. This will just help me get a really straight line. So starts at the origin, goes through just those 4 lines. It is very steep. Do you guys think his line being steep means he's going faster or slower? Definitely faster. This guy is zooming. Okay, be sure you label it David. There you go. Okay, I'm going to mark his off. So we are halfway done with all of our graphs. The next one, I don't know, I'm just going to go back to, oh, Bailey's depends on Elizabeth too, doesn't it? Let's do Bailey's next. We can go back to hers. So Bailey says she gets a 6-meter head start and rides twice as fast as Elizabeth. So I know where her first dot is, right? It's at 6. She gets a 6-meter head start. But we have to decide what would be twice as fast as Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a flat tire. She only went 1 meter in 4 seconds. So what's twice as fast as 1 meter in 4 seconds? Emil? 2. Simplify that. It would be the same. Right. So we want it to be faster. We don't want it to be the same. So what's faster than 1 meter in 4 seconds? Twice as fast. Keep the seconds the same. That'll help. If it's 4 seconds and she only went 1, what would be twice as fast? 2 meters in the same amount of time. So for hers, let's start at 6. She's going to go 2 meters in the same 4 seconds. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. We could also simplify that. Up 2 over 4. What's the simplified fraction of up 2 over 4? 1 over 2, 1/2. So if you want to put more dots on here, you could go up 1 over 2 and it'll be the exact same slope. So I'm going up 2 over 4, up 2 over 4, up 2 over 4 the whole way. But if you went up 1 over 2, that would just put a dot in between, but it would still be exactly on our same line. So up 2 over 4, up 2 over 4. Okay, again, I shouldn't be talking because I think I'm going to mess up. Up 2 over 4, up 2 over 4. This one's going to have to pass it just a little bit. Up 2 over 4, but barely. That's okay. All right, so she's still, you can tell that her line is steeper than Elizabeth. She's going twice as fast. If Elizabeth only went 1 meter in 4 seconds, this one is able to go 2 meters in 4 seconds. So same amount of time, but twice as fast. All right, and this person is Bailey. Okay, so we've got Bailey, Elizabeth, Addie, and David. We just need to get Charles and Fran on there. So let's look at Charles. Oh, Charles depends on Fran. Charles rides half as fast as Fran. So let's go to Fran. Fran's line, what color have I not done yet? I'll do green. Fran's line says that she gets 2 meters per second, but guess what? This one starts 2 seconds, not meters, 2 seconds after the race. So the race starts 1001, 1002, and then Fran starts. So where would Fran's first dot be? At 2 on the seconds. Very good. So we're actually going to put Fran's first dot down here at 2 on the seconds. And then let's read what the rate is again. 2 meters per second. So Fran is going to go up 2 meters per 1 second. So 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, all the way. Don't let all these dots confuse you. Up 2 over 1. Hey, quick question. What do you guys think it means whenever we have all these dots at the same spot? Any guesses at if we have dots that intersect? What do you think that means? Yeah, they're going to be at the same point at the same time, so they better watch out. And it means then one of them's passing another one. So they're passing each other too. Okay, so draw in your line of up 2 over 1. That was Fran. So be sure to label your line Fran. And then I think we only have one more line to put on here before we're ready to to answer the questions. And the last one is Charles. So let's see what Charles says. Charles says he's slower. He only rides half as fast as Fran, but we're going to give him an 8-meter head start. So where's your first dot for Charles going to go? 8 meters, exactly. So I'm going to put my first dot up 8 meters. He's going to get to start there, cheater. And then let's talk about what half as fast as Fran means. What was Fran's rate? Up to per in 1 second. So if he's slower, same 2 seconds, she went 2 meters. How much is he going to only be able to go? 1. So we're going to, very good. So he's going to go up 1 over 1. 1 meter per 1 second. 1 meter per 1 second. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. All the way to the finish line. His line is going to be fairly easy to graph. Oh, look at that. He and Addie are at the same place at the same time just before 1 meter before the end. And then if you guys have perfectly straight lines, it looks like Addie comes in just a hair ahead. Like if you go up 1 over 1 to the corner, your corner should be just barely past Addie's, by a hair. She is going to come in first, just barely ahead of Charles. Okay, so draw in your straight line. Yes, Addie goes just tiny bit before Charles. Okay, so this is Charles' line. He comes in just barely after Addie. Fractions of a second. Okay. All right, if you guys have the whole graph done, it should look like this. We have the order of the racers. You can kind of easily see. I would say Addie and Charles is a little hard to see, but the other ones are clear which order they come in. So we have some questions to answer about them now. So turn your paper over. Part 1 you're going to take a picture of and turn in today to Canvas is your graph. Part 2 is these follow-up questions. So if you did not get a chance to answer them, watch this and do it with me. Okay, question 1. Who won the race and what was their speed? Who clearly won the race? David, for sure. David's line is super steep. He absolutely won. And what was the speed? Speed is like miles per hour, or in this case, meters per second. So what was his speed or his rate? What was his rate? Up 11 per 4. So his rate was 11 meters per 4 seconds. So his rate was 11 meters per 4 seconds. Some people might go ahead and divide that out and get 1 like meters per second, but I think this is fine. Okay, number 2, what order did the participants finish the race? List their names with the times it took them to finish. There isn't a lot of room here, so what we did earlier today to make it a little bit more roomy is we put 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. Just kind of write those 3 a little bit small and we can list them out. So obviously David came in first place, so we're going to put David. And the time it took him to finish. So let's see if you guys know how to read a graph. Here's David's time that he came in. It was just a little bit past this one. So what you want to do is, this is the finish line, read straight down so you can see how many seconds that is. So I think it's just, I got a little bit past 9. Is that what you guys got? If our lines are kind of the same, we're gonna estimate. We're gonna say let's say 9.5. I know that's not exact. People who have stopwatches are gonna be a lot more accurate, but we're gonna say it's somewhere around 9.5 seconds. Okay, who came in second place? Here's where they blow the whistle or whatever, and then 1 second goes by. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds, and then David crosses. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, a little bit past 14, Fran comes in. So Fran is going to be second place, and we're going to say Fran came in at a little bit past, I already forgot what that number was, 14? 14. We'll say 14.5-ish. And again, we're estimating, depends on how straight your line is. It's fine. Who comes in after Fran? Just by a hair. Yeah, Addie comes in next, but that is a very photo finished, just last second switch up because Charles was ahead. And then right there, Addie zooms in front of him. So Addie comes in. Charles is exactly at this number of seconds, whatever that line is on. So that line is on 17. So Addie comes in just before 17 seconds. So what are you guys going to say? 16.5-ish? What? Yeah, you know what? That's probably better. 16.8. And then we already just said that the next one is Charles, and he comes in at exactly 17 seconds on the dot. That should have been right no matter how straight your line was, because if you were following the rate up and over, it hit at exactly 17. Okay, 5th place goes to Bailey. Bailey finishes the race not at an exact, kind of in an in-between again, looks like, kind of passes right there. So that's just, what is that? So like 38 and a half. We'll say 38 and a half. 38.5 seconds-ish. Okay, Elizabeth does finish the race. We're going to put she comes in last, but we do need to calculate what her time would be. So I know that I didn't give you enough graph paper, but she was at 48 seconds right here. So if we continue her rate, she would end up crossing the finish line at how many seconds? I forgot what her rate was. Up 1/4. So we need to add 4 more seconds to get to this meter, 4 more seconds to get to this meter, and 4 more seconds to get to the finish line. So we need to add 4, 4, and 4, which is 12 seconds past 48. So 60 exactly. Very good. So Elizabeth passes it at exactly 60 seconds. Good. Okay, question number 3. After 8 seconds, who had traveled the shortest distance and the farthest from the starting line? So we'll go to 8 seconds. So this is how to read your graph. Go to the 8 seconds on the graph. So seconds is on the bottom. Go to 8. And then go up your graph on 8 and see who the line touches first and who the line touches last. So who is the shortest distance? Is that Bailey? Okay, Bailey is the shortest. I'll just put Bailey dash shortest. And then who is the farthest? At 8 seconds, if we go up, it first touches Bailey, and if we go all the way closest to the finish line, it is David. So David is the farthest because he is zooming. Okay, locate and label 3 times. We're going to label it by just writing what the ordered pairs are here. So what are some ordered pairs when one rider is passing another one? How do you know based on our graph when they pass each other? Oh, sorry. I can come back to that 1 second. How do we know when they pass each other? Lila, when do they pass each other? When they intersect. So here's a spot that these two racers passed. So what is the ordered pair that describes this location? It's over 16, up 14. Yeah, so 16, 14. So we're going to list that as one. At 16, 14, they pass each other. We don't even need to list who. We're just saying these are some places where they passed each other. Where is another spot where two lines at least intersect? Do you have another order? Huh? Oh, did I put 20? What did I put? Oh my gosh. I'm glad you guys are in here while I'm doing this. It was 16 what? 14. Holy cow. 16, 14. Wow. What's another spot? And I definitely need to listen better. 16, 14 was one. Where's another spot where they intersect? 8, 12. 8, 12. Do you see more than two lines here? 3. So actually, this is what asks us here. Is there a point when more than 2? Let's put yes. And it is at point, I already forgot what you said.
8, 12.
Thank you. 8, 12. Okay, yes at 8, 12, more than 2 are tied. And then I think we need to list at least one more. There's a few more. We have several to choose from. Where's another one? How about this point? That's exactly the one I'm looking at. 12. Oh, that is 12, 20, isn't it? Okay, 12, 20. And I'm not sure the way this was worded, if we were supposed to label 3 times and then answer this, or just 2 times and then this. So let's find one more, just to be sure we answered it right. How about this one? What point is that? 411, yeah. 411. Okay, here's where all the questions, even if you guys have been with me and understood all of it up to here, they got a little bit confused in my other class. So this says, if the race were only 20 meters long, would the order of the winners change? So here's what I'm going to do. You do not have to do this on your paper, but at least you need to look at mine so you have reference. If the race stopped here, okay, at 20 meters, instead of going 22, let's say it stopped there. Sorry, my line's not very straight. Does the order of the winners change? Well, let's see. David would still come in first. Who comes in second, though? It's right on that dot. So actually, it would change. David would still come in first, but these two would tie. So let's write yes, the order would change. Yes, the order changes. We don't need to put David because his stays the same. Let's just put the ones that change. Yes, the ones that change are that these two, who are those two people? Fran and Charles. Fran and Charles would come in second. Fran and Charles would tie for second. Let's put that they would tie for second because they come in at the exact same time. Tie for second. And then actually my previous class and I argued about this. If two people, let's see what you guys think. If two people tie for second, does this person then come in third or do they technically come in fourth? Because is it fourth?
Third.
Hold up your fingers. Let me see how many of you think second or third and how many think fourth. Fourth, third, fourth. Okay, I'm going to let you put what you think. It would be Addie next. You guys put something like, and then Addie, I don't know how to spell her name. There you go. I'm just going to put would be next. But there was a huge argument. Some people put would come in third, and some people put would come in technically fourth because second and third are both tied for second. So would that be fourth? Ask your PE teacher. Okay, but the other people stay the same, right? Bailey and Elizabeth stay the same. This is the only thing that would change. All right, next question. After 16 seconds, how far had each rider traveled from the starting line? So let's go to the 16-second mark, and let's just go up till we touch their dot. 16 seconds. Who are these two people? Bailey and Elizabeth. Okay, Bailey and Elizabeth had both traveled how far? 14 meters. All right, Bailey 14, Elizabeth 14. Cool. All right, let's keep traveling up the 16-second mark. We already got those two. The next two are tied right there. That's Addie and Charles, and they were both at 24 meters. Good. Addie and Charles were both at 24 meters. And then the other two people had finished the race. So do you think they kept going, or should we just put they stopped at 25? They're past 25, aren't they? The other two people, David had already finished, so I'm going to put 25 because that's how long the race is. Fran had already finished, so I'll put 25 because that's how long the race is. Okay, We're going to change the length of the race again. If it was only 22 meters, okay, this time it was only, I shouldn't draw a squiggly line because that's not what a straight line looks like, but I want it to be different than the others. So this time, if the race was only 22 meters long, how much, oh, this is kind of sad. How much of a head start does Elizabeth need? She's the one who comes in last to beat our fastest person, David. Oh my gosh. Okay, here's Elizabeth. Oh, here's Elizabeth at 22 meters. We need to move this dot all the way back to where she would beat David. So if she needs to come in before him, she needs more than, what was her rate? Up 1/4? Let's go backwards to the starting line. Down 1/1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1/1, 2, 3, 4. She would need a more than 20 meter head start. Bless her heart. She would need more than. If she was at 20 meter head start, they would tie. So she would need more than a 20 meter head start. So again, if she was at 20 meters, they would tie. So in this particular one, they would tie, but she would need more than a 20 meter head start in order to pass him, like 20.1 in order to pass him. Okay, this last part should be very easy for you now because we have written equations for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Let's look at each line and see if you know how to put y equals the slope x plus the y-intercept. So here's Addie. Let's start with Addie. Addie is right here, the pink one for me. What was Addie's rate? What was she going up and over? Looks like, was Addie the one that was up 3/2? Was she up 3/2? Yeah, up 3/2. So her equation should be y equals 3/2x plus, where did she start? Where was her y-intercept? 0. So let's just leave it off. You can put plus 0 if you want, or you can just leave it. All right, let's go to, do you want to go down to Charles next or Bailey? Charles? Okay, let's go to Charles. That's fine. Charles, what was his rate? Up 1/1. So Charles was y equals 1/1x. Oh, what's a better way to write 1/1x? Just 1 or even just x. You could leave it hidden if you want. Plus, where did Charles start? Yes, he got an 8 meter head start, so plus 8. Good. Okay, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, my little flat tire participant. Elizabeth, her rate we just said was up 1/4, so 1/4 x. So y equals 1/4 up 1/4 x plus where? 10. She got a 10 meter head start, plus 10. Cool. All right, Bailey. Bailey was second to last. What was Bailey's rate? Up 2/4. Let's simplify that. What's 2/4 the same thing as? 1/2. Yeah. So Bailey was y equals 1/2 x plus, where did Bailey get to start from? 6, plus 6. Okay. And then David was the super zoomer. 11/4, that's right. Y equals 11/4 x. And then where did David start? Oh, he started at the origin, yeah. He didn't even cheat. Went that fast and started at the beginning. Okay, Fran. What was Fran's rate? 2/1. How does that look? Just 2. Y equals 2x plus, okay, Fran's, let's think about this. Yeah, that's, okay, so it should probably feel like it's -2, but let me continue down the thing. If I went down 1, down 2, this wouldn't really be a straight line, would it? Kind of would bend. So we need to follow her rate. It's down 2/1, down 2/1. So actually it's going to be minus what? 4. Exactly. So it's going to be -4. That one was hard. That's super hard. Okay, your last question. It used to be a challenge question, but you guys are super smart, so this is no longer a challenge question. It's a you need to know how to do this one. Make up a scenario for another racer who has a 0 slope. So exactly. See, only people who know how slopes work and speeds and things like that understand what this even means. Let's draw in Greg at where do we have a lot of room? At the 3. Let's draw a horizontal line on 3 and add Greg. So let's add Greg and see if we can come up with a scenario of what happened. So here's what happened. Let me make sure everyone can wrap their brain around what a horizontal slope would look like in a race. So they blow the whistle, 3, 2, 1, go. 1 second goes by, 2 seconds goes by, 3 seconds goes by, and then oh, sorry, these aren't seconds. Sorry, just kidding. Let me start that over. He gets a 3-meter head start. So Greg's at the 3 meters. They blow the whistle, and he's not getting any closer to the finish line at all. So what's a scenario that happened where he gets a 3-meter head start, but he doesn't move, like he just is there? What do you think? Oh, yes. Okay, so somebody hit his tricycle. His tricycle fell apart, and then he started crying and stayed there. Something, you guys make it up. I love to see these. Whenever I grade yours, I'm going to see how clever you are. But I do want you to say he got a 3-meter head start. Oh. And then I'm going to say his tricycle broke, and he started crying. Hello. Hi.